right, you all, I am live. Let's get started because I do have some guests, some company here on this evening, on this eve. So, whatever you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whichever fitting to you. But let's talk about Christmas and exactly why the birth of Christ is celebrated the same every year, but not the resurrection, which is also known as Easter. So you all come and hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Another thing that I want to get into, let me know if you all can hear me well. Also, I think I just did a quick live stream. My niece put me on The Walking Dead, the 2019 edition, and I don't watch Netflix or things that much. But she was explaining to me that it's about the CDC and something that they created is leaked. And you had these people that turn into zombies as a result of the CDC's thing that's leaked. And you have the new rendition of The Walking Dead. I remember The Walking Dead when I was younger, and I just viewed it as a horror movie or a scary movie or whatever. Now that I'm older and I see that movies represent futuristic things that happen and speak in codes, I definitely look at those things differently. So I'm looking at this series of The Walking Dead on Netflix. My niece put me on it. And so, yeah, really looking at what's the hidden messages, what's hidden in plain sight, or AKA the writing on the wall. But I do have a sub caption in. Hello, Lavana. Hello to you. And it's about my live stream. Let me pull up this video. I was just at a Lowe's. I'm getting something. Hello, T. And I was had to get something for my house for the holidays. And I shared this live stream of what I saw in Lowe's. And then we'll get on the winter solstice, the winter solstice, exactly what that has to do with Christmas and where Christmas comes from or is derived from as well. But I'm going to show you this video real quick about my Lowe's experience, and I'm getting a lot of different comments on it, a lot of different opinions. So you are definitely welcome to your opinion as well about what you think. I'm not a shopper. You got some people, unfortunately, that seem to be experts at shopping, or not just experts, maybe it's just something they notice. Hello from Detroit. How is the weather in Detroit? It is very warm in my current state right now. Very warm, not cool at all. Um, Not typical for December. You see me what I have on, right? And it's December. You see what I have on. So it's a very warm December where I'm located. People may actually barbecue tomorrow that because of the weather and that it is so warm. And let me share the screen. And let's get your opinion on this if you have not seen my recent upload video about Lowe's. Let me get your opinion on this. 52 degrees, okay. 52 degrees, that's typical, I think, winter weather, but definitely not here. It's as high as 71 today in my neck of the woods. Thank you for the digital love. I love that blue heart. Thank you for the digital love. So let's get into this. Lowe's, what's going on in Lowe's? Is it anything to read into? Is it nothing? Is it normal? Is it eviction time? Or is it lack of Inventory. Let's see. So here's my experience at Lowe's.
I'm
I'm
in
in
Lowe's
Lowe's
right
right
now.
now.
If
Hope
you
you
all
all
can
can
see
see.
me, I'm just trying to let me flip my camera this way. See, you can kind of see me. And I walk in the front entrance of Lowe's, and I see all of these storage boxes. And I asked the representative, I'm like, what's going on at Lowe's? Look, they have these storage boxes, medium, large. Look, this is all on the shelf. They have uh the what do they call these things? Uh the dollies, yeah, that's it. The dollies. Look, they got the bubble cushioning for people to just pack up and move. And I asked the sales rep. I said, "Why do you all have look at this people? This is Christmas Eve at Lowe's. This is what they have. This is when you first enter in the store, right?" And I asked the sales rep. I said, "Why?"
Okay, let me expand this. So I get it. Some people that are normal shoppers during this time say, "Hey, it's perfectly normal." But when I pause, you can see this is the amount that's stacked on the floor. This is the entry door. Here, this is the very front entrance. This is the amount that's stacked on the floor. So a very large quantity meets you and greets you at the door, right?
How
How
do
do
you
you
all
all
have
have
all
all
these
these
storage
storage
boxes?
boxes?
What's
What's
going
going
on?
on?
And one answer was, "Well, look at this."
Again, this is the floor when you first enter in. And people are telling me that this is normal. I just want to know now. This is not the aisles. I'm going to show you the aisles, but this is just the floor. And this is normalcy. This is how many store boxes that you see on the floor. Is storage that big of a commodity for, um, you know, after Christmas storage items?
This is when you first like walk in. And so
Then this is the aisle. These are the dollies. Some more boxes. So this is aisle one. This is your first front entrance.
so I think one of the answers was, I don't know, they just want us to do something different in the front and stock up differently, right? And then the other answer was that they don't have products. They're out of products. So um hey Coach Brent, how you doing? I'm doing great. You looking good. Merry
Okay, now this is the second and third aisle. Again, I told you I have family over, so excuse the background noise. So these are the second and third aisle. So this is normal, right? For first, second, and third aisles. And the floor to be stocked with this much storage at this time of the year for Christmas supplies. I want you all to, if you're alive now, chime in and let me know. This is normal, is what I'm being told. Right? This is normal.
Christmas to you. Speaking. Look at
All right, so, and then it looks blurry. Is it normal to mix mattresses with storage too? And some people say yes
what
because
this. You
they
got
have
the
it out.
8-inch mattress. These are, look at it. I'm like,
So these are certain mattresses mixed with the storage. And people are like, yeah, because, family member comes in and, stores might want the mattresses out front in case they need extra sleeping spaces for family members. Now, I'm having some people say that's not normal. Some people say I don't think so. So that's normal to mix mattresses. These are twin memory foam Serta, average cost $450 mattresses with storage in the front of Lowe's on Christmas Eve. That's normal. That's normal. I'm just asking with storage boxes in the very front entry, 3 aisles and a floor model with these you know, convenient portable mattresses mixed with storage boxes. Now I can understand the storage boxes for Christmas supplies, but why the mattresses? And some people are saying, well, the mattresses is for family members that may stay with you out of town. Um, Linda says, and after Christmas, storage is usually in green and red plastic. Yeah, I thought this would be an after Christmas event, not a before, not a Christmas Eve event. Let me read your comments. This is not normal. I've been in construction for over 20 years and nothing about this is normal. Thank you, Floss Boss. I didn't think Christmas Eve with storage boxes was normal. Not on the not on the floor, not on the floor of the front entry of Lowe's. Not so many boxes on the floor and the first three aisles. On the floor entry and the first 3 aisles. Now I can see, the floor entry want to let people know you can stock your Christmas, and here's what we have. But this was maximum, I think, spacing, right? That took up that space on Christmas Eve, not after Christmas Day, like the eve of Christmas. Then some people tell me, yeah, I went to Walmart, my local Walmart out of Houston, and Big Lots, and they had stores like this as well. So that's just you know, that's like all of the storage facilities that are being built now. That's like all of the storage facilities. Oh, I guess you're saying the storage facilities are having storage boxes and dollies and packing boxes. Well, I can see storage facilities having this, but do they combine this with these mattresses as well? Is that normal? That you see the mattresses and storage boxes combined together on Christmas Eve? What's the point of the mattress? Somebody let me know. If you're on Facebook, let me put this in here. For some reason, I cannot, when I'm on StreamYard, which is what I'm using, when I'm on StreamYard and on Facebook as well, you have to give permission to see your comments. So let me put that in the comment section if you all can see that. And then I'm going to get into the winter solstice because, again, I do have company and I don't want to be rude and be live streaming and live stream there a long time with my guests here. So if you're on Facebook, if you can see the comment section, you all are saying no. If you can see what I'm putting on the comment on Facebook, it says I'm going live on StreamYard. Yeah, I'm putting it right in there. And you have to give me permission to see your comments. So give me permission on Facebook so you all can be engaged as well. Let me read some more comments. No, not normal, maybe evictions, foreclosure, downsizing, etc. Um, Thank you, Minnesota man, because the worker actually told me that was the case. He said we have the inventory is low, so I know we're stacking the first 3 aisles with the storage boxes to fill up space because our inventory is low. Now I didn't put that on camera, right? The person was working, and I wanted to keep his identity disclosed. They want to, uh, risk his job at any point. But that's what he told me off of camera, that the inventory is low and it helps fill up those spaces on the shelves, right? Um, but I've never seen a mixture of storages and mattresses on Christmas Eve. And so that's just that. Watch that video. Let me know your opinion. Everybody have a different opinion. And let's talk about Christmas, the Christos, the 12 disciples of your mind, where we get the 12 disciples from, and the Sun, S-U-N, and Son, S-O-N, where the celebration of Christmas comes from. So let's first talk about Christ, Mass, Christ, C-R-I-S-T dash Mass, M-A-S. Um, this comes from sending or ascending your deepest desires to the North Pole, your heaven, to heave up your thinking, your highest level of thinking, to heave up. I don't know if you all know, but there are scientists on the North Pole that is like that you see on the dollar, that's the all seeing eye, and they are watching, right? Making a list, checking it twice, going to find out if you are naughty or nice, right? He sees you when you are sleeping. He sees you when you are awake. He knows when you've been good or bad. So be good for goodness sake. Most people don't know the meanings of those riddles and songs and a lot of the customary um, cartoons and the tales that we see in the movie Cinderella and the Wizard of Oz. Again, I'm watching the Walking Dead. My niece put me on it, and oftentimes the elite tells you what they're doing through songs and riddles and rhymes, tales and movies and stories and events. And the writing is always on the wall if you know how to decode. So Christmas, Christos, is an oil that reaches your highest point of thinking, your highest um, chakras, 7 chakras, your pineal gland, the highest crown of your brain. And the crystals, the oil is released once a month. That's where you get consecration from to receive what the church community refers to as the anointing oil. It is an internal event. It is the anatomy of your body. And so this is all about understanding the anatomy of your body and astrology. So a gift that empowers you, right? And when you unwrap this gift, when you can receive this crystals, this internal thing that happens internally in the anatomy of the body, and then the external is shown through astrology, right? And you keep asking for what you want, right? It aligns with the winter solstice, the sun, the sun slash sun, son, being buried for 3 days and then resurrects again. So Santa Claus and uh, Also, you can look at the reversal. Anagram is what it's called. When a word is scrambled, like in the Matrix, you see Neo, that anagram is scrambled and it then is the number or spells the number one. So if you put Santa Claus in his anagram, it's Satan, right? Just a mixture of scrambling of words. But Santa Claus and the classroom on your brain, if you all ever listen to, let me see if I can pull this up. Neville Goddard, he talks about or he's the first person that I've heard break this down, the 12 qualities of the mind, right? The 12 qualities of the mind. And so I'm going to share this with you. This is where the 12 disciples is derived from, as well as the 12 um, months of the year, the 12 constellations, right? What constellations were you born in? Understanding your 12 qualities of your mind, the 12 members and the areas, right, of the mind. So you have to understand the anatomy of your internal workings of your body, as well as the outternal astrology. It's in the essence of as above, so below. So again, understand your internal and your external as well. So you have to read, or you should read the Bible from a very metaphorically point of view, right? Uh, from a mental and manifestation viewpoint, from your divine download. So Christmas is the alignment of the story of the winter solstice. So let's get into exactly what the winter solstice is, uh, and the sun and the many, many healing powers that the sun have. Now, I don't know if you all are aware of this, but when C19 first appeared in 2019, the outer layer of the sun is called corona. And this is just free information. You can definitely Google this information for yourself, do your own research, due diligence, not trying to convince anybody of anything. This is information that you can research on your own. And so what happens on December the 31st of the winter solstice, is that winter begins. This is where we first saw the numbers 12, 21, and 21. Where we saw 12. See, last year it looked like 12, 21, 20. This year, I talked about anagram, the scrambling of words, right? But this is the first we've seen the 12, 21, 21. Very special winter solstice. And so what happens in the winter solstice that begin on 12/21, December the 31st, is that winter began and the earth tilted away from the sun. And this was the lowest amount of daylight that we've experienced for this year. The earth tilted the farthest away from the sun. And so the daylight was then the shortest amount, which was approximately 9 hours, right? And 5 minutes of daylight. So we lost daylight, the shortest amount of daylight. And what happens during this winter solstice is that um, the sun starts traveling southward. Let me share this picture with you. Moving from south, and it begins this at its lowest point continuously for 6 months, right? And on the 21st, it has its lowest point, and the sun begins to move south, right? Let me enlarge this. And it gets smaller and more scarce. So I'm not going to play the video because I don't want, copyright infringement. But I'll share the picture with you all. And so on the 21st, we get the lowest amount of sunlight. It gets smaller, it gets scarce, the shortening of days, crops expire. The winter solstice symbolizes the process of death to our ancestors and the ancient Egyptians. It says, hey, this is where death is coming in, right? This is our daylight time is shorter. No more crops rising, no more crops being produced. Things are dying off, right? Things are dying off. And so, with that being said, we have winter. And December 1st, it begins as December 1st. As the sun begins to lower and lower in the southern regions, they call it the depth of the sun. It begins to make a downward spiral. This is why we have the daylight savings times adjusted, right? That's why they tell you to adjust your daylight savings times where you get less daylight and adjust your clocks or your cell phone. And so by December the 22nd, the sun's demise is fully realized. So it goes down, begins winter officially by astrology, December 21st, December the 22nd, the sun demise moving southward. This began for 6 months. The number 6 is the number of man and beast. And then on the 22nd, people remember 3 days. You see it's the lowest point in the sky, right? Now, this is something curious as the 3-day resurrection and where Christmas comes from that happens is that on the 22nd, the sun stopped moving southward. The sun stops moving southward on the 22nd. And then, as it proceeds for 3 days, on these 3 days, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, it then begins during this 3-day pause, right? And this is where you get the word, the Southern Cross, the crucifixion, right? It forms a crux, Crux. So on the 22nd, it reaches its lowest point. The sun stopped moving south for 3 days. This happens clockwork. So for every year, during the 3-day pause, the sun resides and it forms a southern cross or crux, also now known as the constellation. The constellation. So I figured that if you're going to celebrate something, you should know exactly what you're celebrating, right? Right? And the gifts is not supposed to be physical gifts. It's during the winter solstice that you can be mentally at your highest point, your highest heaven, to receive this gift of your inner working, your anatomy, called the crystals, the anointing oil that reaches your highest pineal part of your brain as well. But so many people are consumed and overwhelmed by the physical gifts that they are distracted to take these holy days that only the sun, SUN, provides in the constellation to receive their internal gift from the infinite spirit. So here you go. That's your Southern Cross. That's the cross. That's the symbolism for Christianity. And then guess what? On December 25th, this is why Christ, the Christos, birthday is celebrated December 25th, but Easter varies and differs every year because it moves exactly 1 degree towards the north. So when it moves exactly 1 degree towards the north, this is a foreshadowing of the spring events that's to come. The longer days, the warmth, the spring, and this happens between March 21st and sometimes April 1st. So between March 21st and sometimes April 1st. Now, why this is important? Because this is now determined the highest degree. This is why Easter dates are never permanent, never the same. Now, you have exactly 3 days that this happens from the 22nd to the 25th as the sun moves 1 degree, 1 degree northward that are timed this south. And this is where you get the rising of the sun, SUN. And this is why this is celebratory and celebrated. And this is why these 3 days, and the Bible represent 3 days of resurrection, is talking about the sun, people, SUN. Because it does this like clockwork. And you have the Bible is composed of mysteries, uh, parables, manifestations, and people don't understand it. Even the Apostle Paul and Peter said that they understand the mysteries of the Bible. And so these foreshadow longer days, a warmer spring, and for approximately exactly 3 months as well. You see, 3 is the days of resurrection, but from December to January is a month or a cycle. January 21st, from January 21st to February 21st is the second month, second cycle. And then you have March, which is why we operate off of not the Gregorian calendar, but the lunar calendar, the Greek calendar, because March is the official New Year's, not January. Right? Thank you so much, TS, for the 1369. You really scrambled me with that mixture of numbers. Oh, I think I get it. 369. The energy, frequency, and vibration of the universe. Is that why you did the 1369? 369. Nikola Tesla says if you can understand 369, as I was breaking down a 3 months cycle, then you hold the key to the universe. That 6 is not a bad number. And 9 is the number of divine completeness as Christ, the representation of the Christos, died on the cross, the ninth hour. And by the 6th hour, it turned complete darkness, which is what the sun does for 6 months. It starts in 6 months of a downward spiral. Then we have the winter months for 3 months, technically, from again December 21st to January 21st, then from January 21st to February 21st, then from February 21st to March 21st. That's 3. And then we get the new beginnings and new growth. T says, I got it right. All right, T. I love people on my same energy, frequency, and vibration. Pookie says we have to help our people. JG says, make sure I watch The Matrix. Seen it 3 times. The parables are amazing. I would definitely do that. I'm planning on doing that tomorrow. I decided not to do it during the winter solstice, and I decided to do it on the crystals. I think I'll be more illuminated during that time. And so doing this, let me get back to sharing this with you all. You see, it moves exactly 1 degree. And T, you got that perfect alignment with the number one. You combine the 1, 3, 6, and the 9. That's awesome, T. Love that. And so during this time, it's telling you that for the 3 months, you're going to have winter months. That's why we've been saying winter is coming, the winter months. You got the Southern Cross. And thus it is said that the Son died on the cross. The real truth about Christianity, Jesus and the 12 disciples, 12 zodiac sign, the 12 months, and the 12 members or disciples of the brain. And there we have it. And this is where you have dead for 3 days, the 22nd through the 25th, only to be resurrected and born again. This and there are numerous sun gods. It was just not Jesus, the crucifixion, 3 day death, the resurrection concept. This was numerous gods, and I'm not going to go back and show you the other gods. The most known one is Jesus for Christianity. You all know that the letter J is only about 400 years old, right? So the name Jesus cannot be accurate, neither is Yahweh and Yeshua accurate. It is actually Ies, Ies, I-E-S. And in ancient Egyptian times, um, the feminine or letters and pronunciation was so sacred, right, that they did not share symbol sounds with certain people. You had to be a certain elite class where yours says yes. It was so sacred to know the feminine or the non-masculine letters because of the power Ais had, that it the true name of the energy, frequency, and vibration. So only constant letters and masculine letters will be shared, but not the feminine and the vowel, or what we know and what they teach you in school that's further known as vowel sound. So you have the IES is the earliest, right, known name. And so this is where you have Sirius. This is what the Bible talks about, the three wise men, the three kings. Because at this point, the place of sunrise, Orion's belt, and these three stars are perfectly aligned on December the 25th. So this is the birth of God's son at the winter solstice. This is why in the Bible, metaphorically, it tells you this is why the three kings follow the star in the east. This is what the Bible is metaphorically representing. And they brought good gifts, the birth of the son, right? The very birth of the son. And this is what you have here. And God's son. And so you have the Virgin Mary that represents the constellation, Virgo, Virgin, Orion's belt. So when people tell me that the Bible is not astrology, they don't understand the Bible. The house of bread is the sheaf of wheat that's understood, right? A symbol of wheat, because you have in the months of August and September is the time of harvest time. And even tithing in the Bible, that's why tithing was not a year round. You all are good. I told them I'm live streaming. I got company. They know I got company. You all good. That's my lovely niece. I don't think they want to get on my live stream. But anyway, August and September is always your harvest months. And you go by the moons of the harvest moons. And then you have the Libra in September and October that represents the Eve, EVE. That means a transformation, a transfer. This is why Eve name is Eve. Thank you, Marika. Thank you so much for the Cash App, the super chat on Cash App. Thank you, Marika. And this is why evening, Atom, and Eve just means a transformation. And Eve, another three-syllable name, sacred, was replaced for Ies, I-E-S. And so in Genesis chapter 1, right, when you see gene, means your gene, your DNA, your genetic makeup, and Isis combined, Isis is the moon god, the rebirth, the reproduction god from the ancient Egyptians. This is the word Genesis combined together. Genesis combined together. And Eve just means a transformation. The rib is a representation of the protection that the male provides for the female, right? So as we look at what organs, for example, that the rib, um, let me give me 1 second. What organs in your internal Bible, what the rib cage protects. The rib is connected to a strong, flexible material people call the cartilage. So it protects organs in the chest, such as the heart and the lungs, your very breath, your very cycle of life from damage. And this is what the male energy, the male frequency, the male spectrum, the male man is supposed to protect. And the woman, a protector of the most vital parts, the heart, the lungs, oxygen, circulation of blood, of life, of pump life. That's how important the man is to the woman, the anatomy of your chest cavity. And so the woman was brought from this protector rib, right? And it protects great vessels and all the vital organs in your body. And that's the metaphor and the representation of how important you kings are, especially to a queen. Now, I heard someone give a definition that a queen is just the king's whore, and that they prefer to use the word goddess, and that's fine, right? But it's better to be a king's whore, I think, than just a regular man's whore. At least you are the king's whore, right? And not just a man that does not recognize his kingship and his importance to the woman, right? Todd says, I wonder what the builders culture said about this type of stuff, about the go back type builders. Well, Todd, I don't know. But I do know that this definitely came from ancient Egyptians. And you have the Libra, the balance scale, the eve, the evening out, because now it has to be a transition from the spring, right, into the winter. And it comes like clockwork. Just like I've been telling people that this financial transformation is coming, right? It comes all the time, just like clockwork. Winter always comes, recession always comes. And even in the Bible, I'm not going to go too deep on this, too deep, not today. But all of this is derived from ancient Egyptians. Because even when the spring times comes, let me change my screen. Okay, here we go. It's just a representation of Aquarius. And in the Bible, it talks about the picture of water coming. It's just the time, a season that the sun moves through all 12 constellations. the astrology. It's an allegory. It's an allegory. And so in this, I'm going to share the link. You all can watch this video in your entirety. Even the character of Jesus is astrologically. And let me write something down so I don't forget. So mysteries, allegories, parables, whatever you want to call it. And this is the Egyptian. This is where they got it from the Egyptian sun god Horus. This was plagiarized from Horus, the Egyptian sun god. You get the name Israel from Isis, Ra, Horus, Ra, sun god, and El. El is the masculine name for God, El. And then Elohim is the feminine plural for gods. That's why Genesis 1 and 1 starts out with, in the beginning, Elohim, the feminine God, created the heavens and earth. This is why you need a Hebrew Greek Bible translator. Then in Genesis 11, when it talks about the Tower of Babel, which is also a representation of the cash to crypto transformation that's going to happen in 2022 in a more predominant level, it has the gods, plural, came. So you have El for the masculine God and Elohim that represents the feminine God. And Ais or Jesus is just representation of the sun god over planet Earth that's responsible for life, the outer layer of the sun, corona, for giving us vitamin D, for our health, for growing nutritious foods and plants, because in the wintertime, it's a representation of death. And all of this, everything from Gene, Isis, is from ancient Egyptians. The Dead Sea Scrolls, Moses, you should not kill. It was from ancient Egyptians. Dead Sea says, I have not stolen. Right? You should not kill. Right? I have not killed. They just put thou shalt not. And the miracle conception, all of this ties into astrology and anatomy. So when you're talking about Christianity, you're talking about ancient Egyptians and Dead Sea Scrolls and et cetera, et cetera. And astrology and anatomy. That's why it's good to know the anatomy part, your inner working. And right, and this is the story of Noah's Ark, the Great Flood. All of this is ancient Egyptians. Right? And so I'm signing out. Just wanted to give you all that backdrop, that back knowledge of what your real gift, your winter solstice, um, all of that. Yeah, I didn't even connect that. Israel. Yeah, that's what it is. The eye of Horus, that's why they have the all seeing eye on your cash currency. Now, let me switch this. I know you're going to be like, Queen, how you going to mix the winter solstice with cryptocurrency? Because it's another transformation that's coming. You got all of this. It's just another, when you see the two fish and the Gemini and all of that, right? It's just constellations. Bitcoin was at 51, right? And you got Ether at 4,000. I could break down the soul in this and the constellations and your soul, but Solana people is going to be big. It's at $190, right? As well. And so I tell people that if you're not into cryptocurrency, you're not into this new wave, you're going to be pushed down to a bigger level of poverty. You're going to be pushed, and I could go into some deeper things, but I won't. I think I've been deep enough. I'm going to keep this at an hour. But people are in such delusion, and I get it, right? They don't, I'm very much raised up in church, Christian, but some things just did not make sense to me in the Bible. And I started my journey of seeking self knowledge myself because it just was not adding up. And so as we go into 2022, the 222, which multiplied by 3 is 666. This is, and we saw the 12, 12, 21, the greatest wealth transfer ever experienced, right? As Charles Dickens says, the best of times and the worst of times for some, the best of times for others. And I still got people and that's their eyes are not open, not their spiritual eye. The Bible says those who are led by the Spirit of God are definitely the sons, S-U-N, of God. The sun, astrology, anatomy tells you everything you need to know about what's forthcoming and forthwarning, right? I'm signing out, you all. With that being said, happy Sunday tomorrow, which is the true Sabbath. That's another thing that makes this special. That the Sabbath, which was changed to Sunday, and they changed the name to make you think that it's the S-U-N day, is on the Christos, the Christmas. Tomorrow is a very holy day. I'm definitely going to be watching. As the sun's day on December 25th, as it moved 1 degree towards the north after going south for 6 months, is on the Saturn day and the Sabbath day as well. If ever it's time for you to be spiritually inclined, it's on tomorrow, right? It's on tomorrow. So happy Sabbath day, Sunday, tomorrow. If you have an opportunity to sun gaze, that will be a great day to do it. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Quintessential. He says, happy holidays. Thank you for everything I've shared for him from the ebook, Peace and Prosperity. Thank you so much, King. Thank you so much. To all my kings and queens on here, peace be out to you all as well. Take advantage of the Sunday tomorrow. Be in alignment. Understand these allegories, people. Be in alignment. So and this is why I'm going to watch the Matrix on tomorrow as well. So here's to your health and wealth, your peace, positive energy always creates elevation, peace and prosperity, your credit, your crypto, and your cash flow. Magnify your mind. How big can you think? Manifest with your mouth. The power of life and death is in your tongue. Multiply your money. Convert your cash into crypto. The best way to do that, become multimillionaires in 2022 and maximize your mission in life, people. Be blessed to be a blessing. Queen out, you all. Peace and love and protect yourself.